We are now closed, so there it is. The countdown must have been a little bit slow. Netflix is already out, reporting $4.88. There goes Netflix. Netflix down to $6.20, $6.25 just hit. Now Netflix back to $6.56. The spread right now is $30 on Netflix, so watch out here. We do have that report coming in. It's in my ear. We're ready when you guys are. Netflix downside push down now. Now going back up 660. Now down 610, 611. You're just getting a wild move right now in Netflix. You're seeing a live level 2 right now. 610, 620, 618, 640 is coming through. Netflix bouncing around. Take the level 2 for what it is. It's a $30 spread. Now it's a $10 spread. Now it's 15. I remember when Sharif was doing this, I turn over and go, my guy, there's no way you will survive trading earnings plays. And this is a perfect example right there. Netflix all the way to the downside right now. Just touched $600 Netflix. Ramin, you tell me. I'm just killing time. All right, next time use the Unity if you get a chance. It's 4:01. They're ready. See you guys.
As you just heard, we'll get the numbers in a quick second, but we went right to the daily 600 level on Netflix. Just came in. You're down 7 points here. Now continuing to flush. The initial move, there was a flush that got pushed back up to 660. Somebody probably got trapped up there and had their day ruined. Well, or sorry, is having their day ruined because they're still in that position potentially. But yeah, right into the first support levels. Right in the afternoon, we're talking about a couple of things. Big obvious area at $600 of support, and then a big obvious area at $550 for another support level. Dara, what are the numbers here for Netflix?
There is so much here to digest. I apologize. It's going to be quite a few numbers here, so bear with me. The biggest thing, though, that I think is worth noting with regards to this report is their Q3 revenue outlook here. It's going to be lower than expected. $9.73 billion they're seeing for Q3 revenue. Analysts were looking for $9.82 billion. Their Q2 revenue, though, was a slight beat. $9.56 bill versus the estimated $9.53 bill. They also beat on Q2 earnings per share here, $4.88 versus the estimate of $4.74. But their Q3 outlook for revenue, though, that was a miss. Their EPS outlook higher than expected. $5.10 per share for Q3 EPS versus the estimate of $4.75. They also, for Q2 global streaming paid net additions, way higher than expected. They added 8.05 million subscribers versus the estimated 5.03 million additions. They're also looking to phase out their basic plan in the US and France and, quote, don't expect advertising to be the primary driver of revenue growth in 2024 or 2025. So some iffy sentiments with regards to their ad plan. Sorry, guys, that was a lot of numbers. Let me know if you need me to repeat anything. I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like, obviously, ad revenue is expected to eventually be a big deal for them. But if you're starting to push out when it's going to be that big deal another year away, throw in that revenue miss, I suppose, on the guidance. There's a lot that was pretty good on that, but it came right into that 600 level that we were talking about to the downside. That was always going to be the fear. No push into 550, so you can't get that dip by, but it's now held a second time off of 600 on a 3-minute chart, went right into that support level at 600, bounced once. Now it's going to get tested a third time here on Netflix, and there are some sympathy names that have gone to the downside as well. It's a pretty red day overall. This isn't going to help things with Netflix going to the downside. It's the first salvo into big cap tech on the earnings. Maybe not as big as they used to be, but believe me, this isn't a good start. The good news for Netflix, I would say, is it's done much worse than this on earnings before. We've seen 20, 25, 30% to the downside. I remember when Netflix and Meta were both doing this, and this is not nearly as bad yet. It's only 5 points. You still have to see tomorrow's reaction. Can it hang on to that 600 level? Everyone's going to digest it. There was some good points in that. The EPS beats, the good guide on the EPS. So there were some positives, the net adds that you were talking about there, Adair. So it's not as if it's all bad, and it's not a double-digit loss either. So I think, all in all, not the end of the world over here for Netflix, but it doesn't help when you already had this rotation coming out of names like this.
Yeah, I think definitely the biggest issue here from what I could tell from an investor standpoint would be, I guess, these